Hello there, low brass world. The first long tone drill I recommend, and this is mainly for beginning students, like 6th grade year or first and second year worth of playing, is to do something for long tones that it's like the Remington drill. If you've done that, a lot of us do that kind of drill in band anyways as a warm-up, but I think it's a good thing to do to work on expanding your range a little bit, especially during that first year or two, and then listening to the tone and trying to match the pitch. What I try to do, let me just explain the drill to you, and if you want to see a PDF version of this that you can download or play with or print off and all that stuff, you can look at tubabasics.com. I'm trying to get all this stuff up there on that website here hopefully shortly. The drill is in 4/4 time, half note, dotted half note, breathe on beat 4, and repeat that same 2-measure sequence, right, rhythm-wise. What I recommend students do is start on their middle F, their concert F, because most all students, that's the first pitch that they're all taught to play together as a band, and on their instruments. That's a good mid-range tone, and it's probably the pitch that you've all played about a million kajillion times, more often than the other pitches. So what I do is I start on that concert F and slur down to the next chromatic fingering below that, which would be E natural, and then back to concert F for that dotted half note. So half note, dotted half, right? Then return to concert F and go down to the next chromatic fingering, which would be E flat, back to concert F. F to D, F, and then just keep going through all those chromatic fingerings until you hit the next, the B flat that's below that. So F down to B flat, back up to F. Point being, as you get further and further away from that F, and as you get lower in your range there, try to make all those notes sound as clean in their tone and as centered in the horn as you can that concert F, right? I might start this at quarter note equals 60 for beginning students, and then challenge them to gradually each week slow that tempo down even. What that's doing then is making them have to hold that, use that air, expel that air over a longer period of time. Still it's the same rhythm, but it's lasting longer, right? So it's helping build their lung capacity as well. So I'll do that first sequence down to that low B flat. Then I'll start another sequence that starts on that F and goes up by half step. So F to the F sharp or G flat, right? Back to the F. F to G to F. And I'll use that going up to the B flat that's above that F. So that's the second sequence, is starting on middle F and going up. Then the third sequence will be start at the low B flat that you finished the first sequence on that you got down to. Use that as your starting tone and go down from there. Again by chromatic fingerings, right? So B flat down to A, back to B flat down to A flat, also, so on and so forth until you get down to concert F, whether that's 1 and 3 or 4th valve for you or what. Again, trying to open that jaw, open that sound up and all that, but keep that tone just as solid and as clear as you are that first starting tone, right? So that low B flat's your starting tone. Work on trying to start that nice and clean with a good clear tone, and then as you get down even lower to that low F, which is a good challenge for those first year students, then try to keep that tone the same. Then go to the higher B flat that you finished the second sequence on and start there going up by half steps, right? So B flat to B natural, back to B flat C, back to B flat, until you get to the F that's above that B flat right there. That gives you 2 full octaves of range then on your instrument, and as a first year student, that's a really good goal. If you can make two full octaves sound really good and clear with a good tone across the range on your instrument, that's a real good start. For third year students or people who have more range than that or want to have more range than that, then keep going. Go down, then take the next sequence and go down low, start on that low F, that 4th valve F, and play the pedal tones, F down to E, back up to F, F down to E flat, until you get down to the low B flat, the pedal B flat, right? Then start up on that higher F that you finished that 4th sequence on, and go up to the B flat above the bass clef staff for the tuba players, or an octave above that for the euphonium trombone players. So that's a good one to do, and then that gives you 3 full octaves of range on your instrument, which is a really good thing. So that's what I suggest to do for beginning students. You can see a PDF version of that if you go to tubabasics.com. But a couple other little notes real quick. There's another playlist on this YouTube page called Warm Up, warm-ups. And there's a video on there by Richard Demme. He's got a version that's real similar to this. It doesn't return back to the starting note, but it's a play along track type thing you can do. I believe it's either got clicks or drum, some kind of drum thing going on in the background. And he'll play for 8 beats for 2 measures, whole note, whole note. And then there's 8 beats of rest where you're supposed to play in turn. So you listen to his pitches, and then during the 8 beats of rest, the drum click still going along, and you play along with it. Or use it as a mouthpiece drill, mouthpiece exercise. Work on getting your long tones to sound nice and steady and clear, and a good laser type tone on the mouthpiece for those. So you can either do it in that 8 beats of rest that you've got with the drum click going, or you can kind of match his pitch when he's playing during that 8 beats. That's another good way to do that drill. But he's got an entire warm-up that's a video. It starts with the long tones, gets into other things, I think lip slurs and things like that. So check that out, and maybe alternate these different drills, whether it's the long tones 1, long tones 2, or other people's long tone exercises, or that warm-up and all that from Richard Demme. Do maybe a different one every week for a week at a time. Try different ones out and see which one feels better for you, or you get comfortable with them all, then just kind of you want to make your practicing interesting, then every day or every other day alternate to a different one. So that's my version of long tones 1. It's a Remington type warm-up, and I think it's a real good start for people.